Mike, why has it been so difficult to get the run game going the last couple of weeks?
That's a kind of a loaded question. Running the football is a team effort. You need to have the opportunities to run it. When you get your opportunities, you need to execute it. So sometimes in given situations, whether a defense does something you're expecting or you plan for it, you have to, and you don't execute something one or two times, and you get behind the chains or you're in second and longs, it kind of builds upon itself, So it's like anything else; it's a rhythm, and when you struggle to get in the rhythm, it sometimes takes a while to get it going. I think for our offense, there's been times where we haven't gotten the results we wanted on a run play, and then all of a sudden we make a big play on third down, and hey, we get another op. So it's kind of snowballs on itself. It's definitely not something we plan for, but you deal with it and try to learn from it and move forward.
Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle both seem to say the reason the running game isn't working is that you're getting looks or fronts that they're not prepared for, I think was their term. What do you make of that?
No, was that George after the game?
Yeah, and Jimmy yesterday.
Yeah, they that's something that in the heat of battle, especially after the game, you're trying to figure out exactly why something didn't work or whatever, and guys on our team put in a lot of effort, time, and take pride in running the ball well. So to a degree, defenses have something to do with that. It also has to do with how we plan and prepare them. It also has to do with them executing stuff that the next day on tape, I know George sees stuff and he's like, hey, we could have done this, that, or whatever. So it's a little bit of it, but it's not the entirety by any stretch. There's not, we've been dealing with going against uncharted looks since 2018 in the run game, and we don't expect that to change. But shoot, a team might come out and do exactly what they've done to every other team, and because certain players give forth certain effort, it happens, and you have to learn from it, and that's what it's all about. It's about building so that you can run the ball down the stretch of the season when the games are as equally important, if not more.
Thank you.
How did Trey Sermon fare throughout the course of the game? Did you see an evolution with him, improvement as the game went on?
Yeah, no, there were definite things that he improved on as the game wore on. There was also things that he really, he'd been shortchanged in terms of he hasn't played tackle football that much. When you really think about it, he had the COVID year, and then going into this season, we had padded practices, but we're not going to the ground. And then preseason, he got dinged. So there were some, as he did get better, and there was also things in his play that we looked at. We're like, hey, here's another thing that you can improve on. What I will say is probably as much, if not more than any player on the team this week, you can tell that he learned from the experience. He had as deliberate of a week practicing as anybody. I think a lot of players on our team are very confident in him moving forward. I know he's confident and excited for the opportunity, and just excited to continue to progress.
Was he at all at fault on the screen that turned into the backwards pass? I mean, was that just bad timing from a lot of people on that play?
Sure. That's the one of the things that's very important to be a good team in the NFL is that from coaches down, you all feel responsible for the outcome of the play. So you're really in trouble if a guy is like, "No, it's not my fault." You need guys to say, "Well, I could have," and he's no exception. We haven't, and we can look at it from a coaching staff perspective, and me specifically, and immediately after the game, I'm thinking to myself, okay, did we put him in that position enough? And even if you did, you're still thinking to yourself, what could I have done? He he definitely thinks, hey, I could have got out there faster. You know, that it was a situation that when you watch the play, Jimmy Garoppolo is doing a play fake. His back is to the defense, and if you can put yourself in his shoes, he is not expecting what happened, where there's a guy in his face. So that has to do with timing, and we want the offensive line to be perfect in timing, but we coach the back, hey, you could make this all right if you're a little further out and a little more urgent. So he was a part of it, but we're all a part of it. It's the way we try to look at it.
On that play, ideally, how long do you want Lakin to hold 97?
Well, I mean, I can't give you the secrets to the sauce, you know. But let's just say we would prefer, and that goes for guard and center. We'd prefer not to have a defensive lineman in the face of Jimmy Garoppolo. So we were trying to adjust the timing relative to their pass rush, and we didn't get it done collectively as an offense.
Mike, on the go-ahead touchdown drive, George Kittle made a couple big plays there.
Yes, he did.
In between, I think, two of his receptions looked like is when his calf tightened up on him. But he didn't come out of the game, obviously. He played all the way through it. Just what does he mean in those situations, and how important is it for that he's on the scene?
Great observation, good eyes.
Thank you.
He has what we like to call competitive greatness, which I think John Wooden defined as being your best when your best is required, or being your greatest when your greatest is required. You guys aren't quoting me on that, right?
Well, quote Wooden.
And he exhibits that all the time. He makes plays in games that we've never seen him make in practice, because the moment, the adrenaline, it works in his favor. So when you're in need of safe throws, but you need a lot of yards, it's a great option for us, because we know that it's going to take a very good tackler to bring him down, and we're going to be able to get yards, and we trust him with the ball. So he gives a ton of juice in life to all of his teammates and coaches.
I mean, and this is, like you said, I mean, he's unique in that way, but do you see that rubbing off on any other? Is there another guy that's you can see adapting to that?
Oh, for sure. That happens all the time in football, whether it's route running, whether it's the being exposed to certain types of players. I can remember as a receiver coach studying Keenan Allen coming out of Cal, and like every receiver for the next 3 years had certain releases that were just like, wow, he's definitely rubbed off on them. It happens all the time in football. George Kittle and running with the ball in his hands is no exception. So we coach Deebo Samuel all the time. We're in the process of coaching Brandon Ayuk all the time. We coach running backs all the time, because it's all the same relative to you have the ball in your hands and you're trying to maximize the amount of yards you're getting. So look at how George attacks the edge of a defender. Look at how his turnover, he keeps his turnover going, his pad level, his strain. So it's very beneficial to all of his teammates, kind of painting a picture. I firmly believe that Brett Favre had a little something to do with the way Aaron Rodgers plays. You know, that stuff kind of snowballs, or players pick up on that and apply it to their game.
On Deebo,
Couple more.
Kyle mentioned yesterday that one of the things he improved was his route running, just kind of being more of a complete receiver.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is there ways that you have been able to use him more in, he has more an advanced route tree or things like that?
For sure.
Yeah.
Deebo is, it's a very cool thing to watch, because Deebo's a player that if you take the time and you're able to show him exactly what you want, there's nothing he's not there. He is willing to do whatever it takes to improve upon it, and you just have to. It's your job as a coach to best articulate that through film and whatever, to show him how he can get better. I know he wants to be great, and the best thing about him is he is not satisfied. He's been able to really expand his route tree. He's a great person to get the ball to, so that's great news for the 49ers. And so he's expanded the way that we've been able to get him the ball.
Brandon Ayuk was on the field a lot more. Brandon Ayuk was on the field a lot more this week. Was that a plan ahead of the game? Was it what he has improved on in practice, or did it?
Yeah, no, it was. He had been earning the right to be on the field more. I don't think any of us were foreseeing the ratio of reps going as extreme as it did. Again, that's game circumstance. Part of the residuals of a choppy start or having not sustaining drives is you don't get into a routine that Wes is used to, where you can sub people in and out. So you get these shorter drives. So it just kind of happened that way. But I wouldn't expect it to happen in the future. We love what Trent offers us. He plays fast and physical and makes plays. We knew that Brandon was going to play more. I don't think we knew it was going to be the ratio it was.
Mike, both Jimmy and George have talked about what the Packers did specifically in the run game, take away the outside zone, was kind of different and unique than what y'all had seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Did they express confidence that there would be a counter and figure that out? Is that accurate? I mean, was it like, geez,
I mean, it wasn't earth-shattering or mind-blowing. We kind of had an idea what they were going to do, and it was in the family of that. But that's part of our jobs. That's part of you put play concepts in so that they can learn rules that can apply to any defense. And there's a cost benefit for everything you do. It's one of the reasons why the running game didn't get going, is because, hey, they have 6 on the line of scrimmage. That's a lot of people. Who's defending pass plays? So we should probably pass. You know what I mean? So it all snowballs on itself. Then if you're able to sustain drives more and you're in a tight game, you can earn those run plays back. You know, you have to be willing to attack the defense where they're most vulnerable. And we don't go into games just being hard-headed and saying, "Hey, we're gonna run it and we're gonna run it 40 times regardless." There are defenses that dictate, okay, well, hey, it's probably not smart to bang our head against the wall. We should probably do something to make them pay for their adjustment to our run game.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Father.
Happy birthday, Anna.